Hello ladies and gents, I'm a Celestial 3 Peni Parker main and I'm going to show you how I play Domination with Peni. The main tip for Peni on Domination is, in the spawn room, change character. Right, let's have a look at Odin's archive. This is how you want to roll out as Peni on every map, especially the Domination ones. Use a combination of the web snare and the cyberweb bond to get to the point as fast as possible.
We'll need to put up a good fight.
I'm going to be honest, this is the worst map in the game, and it's the worst one for Peni as well. In a pinch, we can play Nest on point, but it's just not a good spot and it can be shot from so many different angles. If we're going to play point, I prefer this spot. It's more covered than the first spot, and you can cover this stairway. If the first spot's a 2, this is maybe a 3 or 4 at best. We've got a good nest spot here. If we manage to win point, we want to hold close immediately. Get webs and mines placed down here to make this really difficult for the enemy team to push through. While this is a decent spot, there's a much better one just up ahead. This isn't just a great nest spot, it's also an excellent choke point. It's got everything a good defensive choke needs. It's got a small doorway and it's got a huge high ground advantage. Unless they're popping multiple ults, they're going to have an extremely hard time to get through this. Next up, the throne room. The vast majority of the time, both teams are going to push for the high ground. You want to place your nest here. It's got coverage onto where you'll be fighting. It covers the back and it's hard to destroy. I've tried multiple spots on and around the throne. The benefit of getting more coverage onto this area is outweighed by the fact that it can be destroyed from many different angles. If your team decide to go point to start with, or if you lose the high ground fight, play here. It can be easily destroyed from the back, so watch out for that. Use webs to extend the nest's range onto the stairs, making it hard for them to push onto point. We can web up here for a quick and easy flank. They can destroy it from this angle, so just be careful of that. Okay, now we're on to my favourite spot on this map. It covers both doorways that they'll mainly push point from. Mines here are basically a guaranteed pick. Don't forget to use your webs to fully lock this off. Let's just take a moment to appreciate how nice this defensive setup is. You can hold close, but this is typically towards the end of the game just to prevent them getting close to the point. Next up, Bifrost Garden. This is the single best nest spot in the game. I've seen people who have no idea how to play Peni pick her on this map just for this spot. Get webs placed down here and put mines there for extra damage, and get a web on the other side as well. If you play against a Peni on this map, which you most likely will, make sure you destroy the nest before you push point. If they manage to take point, you're not going to have an easy time getting back to it. You can slowly try to use webs to extend the nest onto point. You can place the nest in the tree. This isn't as good for defending the point, as they can shoot it from the other side, but it's good for attacking the point. Most of the time it's going to confuse them and they'll be looking behind the tree for the nest, when actually it's in the tree. It's pretty hard to see. Tying this into your ult is really good. This is one of those things where it could work really well once, but once they know you're putting it in the tree, they're going to be looking for it immediately. Next up, the Wakanda maps, starting with the Imperial Institute of Science. Playing point on this map is rough. The nest spot is not good. The nest is not going to last long and it's not going to get value. Once this centerpiece gets destroyed, the map changes and it becomes much easier to defend on. This is a really nice nest spot for holding point. You can extend the spider nest's range by using the webs like this. This is a big tip, not just for this map, but for all the Domination ones and really any map. Don't be afraid to push high ground, guys. Take off angles. If a DPS is shooting you, push them, get in the face. The only one I would say be careful of is a Punisher. If you want to hold a little closer, something like this can work as well. With nice web placements, you can really extend the range of the spider nest.
Time for some fireworks.
Holding even closer can work, but again, it'd be reserved for towards the end of the game to prevent them from touching point. This is going to leave your support in a pretty bad spot though, so I wouldn't recommend this. We actually have a decent spider nest spot on this map, so it's different to the Odin's Archive map, where there is not really a good spot on point. Use this spot when you're pushing onto point, and obviously behind the walls when they appear. Next up, Stellar Spaceport. Depending on where the enemies are coming from, place your nest here or around this corner, whichever's safer. You can always use the webs to extend the range of it, of course. If they do come this way, the healer's going to be in the back, so get some mines thrown into the back line. If they get to the point before us, or if they manage to capture it, a nest spot here can work. As always, use webs to extend the range. A few people have asked about web snare and how it affects setups. The key is not to spam it. If you land the CC, it won't consume the one on the ground. I only use it when I'm confident I'll hit, when it could secure a kill, or to shut down an enemy ult. For high ground threats, I will use the cyber web bond to push them off if needed. Seriously guys, don't spam it. It's going to mess up your setup, and at high reloads, the enemy team will be keeping track of when you've used your CC, and when it's on cooldown, that's when they're going to ult. This is a nice spot for holding close. They have to push up into the web to destroy the nest.
This is gonna hurt.
This is a bit further back now. Not as good of a spot, but it's an alternative to just holding point.
Time to engage the enemy.
This is the point hold. Honestly, not a bad spot. Obviously, put it on whichever side the enemy team is spawning from. They either have to push on point or take a wide angle to shoot the nest. If your supports are getting dove a lot, this is a nice nest spot to help them out a bit. You have to go around the back or side to destroy the nest. You can even extend it onto the point from that location. If you have long range DPS and your supports are holding back here, this nest spot can also help them out massively. Last one for Wakanda, Warrior Falls. This is the route I'll take at the start of the round on this map. This is a great spot for winning the initial team fight on this map.
I'm counting on you, friends.
We won't be able to get all 3 placed down in time, but we can get 1 or 2 out, and that's going to be a benefit. Obviously don't place the nest in here because they'll just come from the back or above and take you out. This is a nice nest spot for before the map changes and the middle's still open. Obviously just place it where the enemy team are coming from. Down here can work too. You get coverage onto point and the nest isn't an easy one to take out. Set your webs up something like this. This is my favourite spot on this map. It works a lot better though when the map changes and the middle closes up.
This is gonna hurt.
But before then you can get a nest set up something like this. And this is that same spot after the map changes. You get coverage onto this little bit of high ground, which is nice too. I prefer a setup like this, but you can get creative and use whichever one feels good for you. Peni's mobility tool comes in real handy on this map. You can use it to push any annoying DPS that are trying to take high ground. There's a well-known spot that I won't be showing in this video because it relies on a glitch. Since it could be patched out, I'm focusing on consistent, reliable setups instead.
Counting on you, friends.
This is a great spot to help out your supports if they're getting dove or if you're trying to push back into the point. Now we're on to Hell's Heaven with the Super Soldier Factory. You need to be careful where you place your nests on this map because they will get destroyed by these walls if you place them on the tracks. You can try and take ground here as well if you see an opportunity to get access to their supports. This is my favourite spot on this map. It holds them off point, and they can't destroy it from this main doorway. When you get the chance, make sure you get webs placed down. This is a seriously strong setup. They will 100% go to this window and try and destroy the nest. Just get mines placed up there, put a web if you have to. We can use this window to get access to their backline if we're successfully holding them in that room. We can even hold closer up from this spot. We'll just place a nest down in here
I'm counting on you, friends.
and extend webs out onto main.
Right.
Not easy to destroy from the back either. Holding this room can work too, for getting some picks when they're coming back from spawn and getting shots into the room below us. We've got a health pack right next to us as well.
Time to engage the enemy. Time for some fireworks.
Next up, frozen airfield. So we want to destroy this door, get into the middle as fast as possible and get a nest placed down, put it on whichever side's safer.
I'm counting on you, friends.
We can turn this back room into a little spider den and get webs onto point. This spot works too, and it's a little more protected. Obviously, whichever side your team is spawning from, put it. I'd only use this spot if I have to, for a close team fight or towards the end of the game where they're just going to be rushing onto point to touch. This is a nice spider nest spot. They can't destroy it from the back because they'll just go into the nest, and we can get great coverage onto main by extending it with webs.
We'll need to put up a good fight. On you,
You can play in this back room too to lock down the health pack, give you support some cover and your range DPS. You could even play this spot solo because you've got a fast escape just to the left. We can then play this room and extend webs either side. And when the map changes, we can take this spot and extend onto main. Don't forget, for this map, we can easily take high ground as well, guys. Last map now, Eldritch Monument. Placing the nest here gives coverage onto the roof. It also stops the enemy from coming into this room and shooting the nest. When placing it inside, the webs don't extend out, so that's why I place it on the ledge. You can hold a bit closer with the nest spot here and then just extend with webs. They can destroy from the side pretty easily, so it's only really worth if the enemy team are pushing main hard. This spot is just awful, don't use it. It's probably the worst point spot on all these maps. When the map changes, this is the spot I like to use. Not this one because it can be easily destroyed, but this on the stairs. It's a bit harder for them to destroy and you get nice coverage onto point. Penny's mobility is a big tool on this map. This is a really nice nest spot. Once you break these pillars, you get great coverage onto this ledge, and you can block off either side with webs, extending the nest.
keep going.
And this is my guide to play Peni Parker on the Domination maps in Marvel Rivals. Thank you all for watching. We're getting so close to 5k subs, and I can't thank you all enough for the support. I'll be streaming on Twitch soon, so if you want live tips and tricks, come follow me over there. Once again, thanks for watching, like, sub, and I'll see you next time.